Hello, everybody. Welcome to another We Shape Live today. I've been going live every day this week because it's January, it's the new year. This is oftentimes when people get really motivated and excited to start showing up for their fitness routine again, especially after the holidays, okay? And a huge part of what I want to focus on this January for you is to figure out how we can help you be consistent throughout all of 2026. All right, now here's a crazy stat I just heard, that by January 9th, more than half the people who set a New Year's resolution have already given up on it. By January 9th, right? What's today? The 8th? That's tomorrow, right? And so I want to make sure that you are not this person, that you don't give up on making your body feel better, that you don't give up on showing up and taking care of yourself. And so that's why we're doing this series of lives right now. Today, we're going to be talking about the third topic in this series we're doing on these lives. So I want to give you a little background to this. We're doing the 4 pillars of We Shape, okay? Each one of these pillars are critical when it comes to making sure that you show up consistently to take care of your body. So just a little background information. Pillar number 1 was to focus on practicing movement and stop using the word exercise. And I'll just repeat what I said very briefly in that live. The word exercise, it's filled with like negative feelings, right? I have to go exercise. Think about it. When you use the word exercise, you probably don't want to do it because it's associated with punishing yourself because of the way you look, because of what you ate yesterday. And most of us have used that self-hatred, that fear-based motivation to try and get us to take action for years or even decades. And to be honest, what we believe at We Shape is you don't show up for yourself consistently because you've never, ever, ever been able to use positive motivation. And that's a huge part of what we teach on the mindset side of We Shape, okay? So throw away the word exercise, start embracing the word movement instead, and treat your workouts as an act of self-care. And I've said this before, but the way to think about this is, if you can approach your workouts the same way you brush your teeth, then we're on to something. Because if I took your toothbrush away for 5 days and then I gave it back, you'd be so excited to brush your teeth. But if you don't move for 5 days, it's not like you're getting excited about moving, right? So we want to get excited about taking care of our bodies. We got to start to do things that feel good, because when we feel good, we want to keep doing it. So pillar number 1, throw away exercise, start practicing movement. It's just a subtle reframe in your mind to show up for your routines more consistently. Pillar number 2 is establishing a good intention, okay? A why. Why are you showing up to this fitness routine in the first place? Why are you starting right now in January of 2026? And if you can answer that question, and it's not based on something superficial, like, well, I want to start because I want to lose weight. Okay, that's great. But why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to lose weight because I want to fit into this outfit. Well, why do you want to fit into this outfit? Well, maybe I'm lonely and I want to find a partner, right? Maybe I really want to be able to show up and play with my grandkids or my kids and be able to keep up with them again. Maybe I'm so sick of having aches, pains, and injuries and feeling like I can't move my body again, and I want that movement freedom back. So establishing a powerful intention, a powerful why, is critical for creating that momentum, especially now in the beginning of the year, that's going to carry you forward, okay? Now today I'm going to go over the third pillar, and just so you know, tomorrow, Friday, January 9th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to go over the 4th pillar that we focus on here at We Shape. Now these pillars, though, I want to tell you something, because before I dive into the 3rd pillar, we're going to go through all 4 of these pillars over the next 4 weeks in our We Shape Feel Good Challenge. So here's the deal. If you haven't signed up for our free Feel Good Challenge yet, all right, you can go to WeShape.com/challenge. We have a couple thousand spaces left. This is going to close on Saturday. So if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you go to WeShape.com/challenge, sign up today. That's going to close on Saturday, and our next challenge starts on Monday. Throughout this challenge, we're going to go through these 4 pillars I've been talking about through the emails. We're going to do some live coaching calls as well with a community of people who are showing up to take care of their bodies and learn how to be consistent with their workout practice throughout all of 2026. Best part about this, I've said this before on the previous lives, it's free, you guys. It's free. We're literally not going to ask you for a credit card or anything. So if you've been looking for a program that you want to try out, that can help you not only build you a 28-day customized workout plan, customized to your body, give you exactly what you need to start feeling better, but also help you with the mindset side of things. Shifting your mindset towards learning how to show up consistently, take care of your body, value your body, and really make 2026 count. You got to join this Feel Good Challenge. It's going to be so awesome. I've said this before, and I'll say it to the day I die. This is probably better than some of the challenges and programs that you've paid hundreds or even thousands of dollars for. I really stand by that. The only way to find out is to go to WeShape.com/challenge and check it out. And just so you're wondering, so you get 28-day workout plan, you get live coaching calls where we go over this curriculum, you get our 4-week transformation, and then also you get a chance to win packages and prizes worth $5,000, including a ticket to our next WeShape Wellness Retreat, which is a live in-person event with me, Dr. Lisa, the rest of our coaches, where we're gonna help you feel better in your body and also work on the mindset side to continue that motivation to keep showing up for yourself so you can feel not just a little better, but you can actually feel really amazing. Like, our goal here is really to make the people who come to WeShape feel healthier and happier and give you that movement freedom back so you can enjoy your life again, okay? So if you have questions, by the way, if you're watching this and you have questions about the challenge, maybe you're like thinking about it, but you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this unless I like really ready to commit. If you have questions, post them in the comments right now. Also, if you just have general movement questions, if anything I can do to help you today, I want you to post them in the comments as well. My team's gonna grab a handful of questions and we're gonna put them in front of me. After I go through the third pillar, I'll come back and I'll answer a handful of these questions. Hopefully, they'll make you move better and feel better. Otherwise, remember, go to WeShape.com/challenge, sign up right now before you forget. We have a couple thousand spots left and it closes on Saturday and we start on Monday. Okay, so if you've been looking for something to do, you want to feel better, you want to get those aches, pains, and injuries down, you want to gain strength, flexibility, balance, coordination, this is it, all right? Now let's talk about this third pillar. Oh, and leave a comment. Let us know what you are needing help with, okay? Okay, now let's talk about the third pillar of WeShape, okay? And this one, it almost feels like when we talk about this, like people go, oh, like, is this really a part of this program? And it really is. But here's the deal. We're trying to start a new habit. We're trying to get you to start showing up for yourself consistently. We're trying to get you to overcome the obstacles that are preventing you from consistently showing up, valuing your body, taking care of your body, and also shifting that mindset away from what the fitness industry keeps telling you, which is you should feel horrible about yourself and you should not like the way you look, and then you should go try and lose weight and gain muscle and all these other things, right? So throughout the WeShape Challenge, we're gonna be shifting your mindset. We're gonna be shifting it towards waking up and saying, how do I care for my body? We're gonna be shifting it away from walking past the mirror and criticizing yourself to walking past the mirror, pausing when that thought comes up, and then starting to do kind things for yourself and learning how to appreciate your body more. And the people who have gone through this challenge come out the other side feeling so much better, both physically, like in their bodies, and about their bodies, right? Because we teach them how to do this throughout that process. But the most important thing that we do throughout this process is we connect each other. We create community, okay? And hear me out, don't just run away, because this is becoming a huge part of what we've found, what the research has found, helps support health and longevity, okay? So if I were to ask you, what are one of the most important things if you wanna live longer, feel happier, and be healthier, okay? One of the most important things you must do if you want to live longer, feel healthier, and feel happier, well, guess what the answer is? It's have a solid connection with your community, okay? It means having people around you who, when maybe you trip and fall and you get injured and you feel super unmotivated and you feel like, why is this happening to me again? You can lean on those people for support. It means having people around you to lift you up and celebrate your wins. Because the reality is, when we have people around us who can cheer us on when we need it, who can cheer us on even more when we're already on fire and we're going for it, that's what keeps us consistent. That's what keeps us motivated. Because here's the truth. Learning how to take care of yourself doesn't mean that you're never gonna have an injury, doesn't mean you're never gonna have to overcome some emotional hardships. We're all human beings here. That means things are gonna happen in our lives. People we love are gonna pass away. we're going to injure ourselves and feel deeply frustrated. Life's going to show up in a way that we don't want. And when that does, we kind of have two options. Option number one is we just kind of pack it down. We don't ever process it with anybody. We don't connect with our community. And oftentimes it can make us tighter, more frustrated, and more likely to not show up for ourselves. Or if we have a community of people who are ready to embrace all the things that life has to offer, then you'll get that support. You'll get that support you need to show up and be consistent. Because frankly, especially ever since COVID, I think there's an epidemic of people who have had more loneliness than they desire. And again, frankly, loneliness doesn't motivate us to show up and take care of ourselves. Loneliness or lack of community doesn't allow us to feel supported and held through our challenges. Loneliness and lack of community doesn't encourage us when we need that encouragement. And so a huge part of the benefit of WeShape, and if you decide to join our challenge, which is crazy if you don't, it's free, like I said, a huge part of the benefit of this is knowing that as you show up, we've got a community ready to go. A community of people who will show up when you're feeling down, support you, encourage you, and really make sure that you have people around you that are going to make you feel like no matter what happens, you've got the support you need to succeed. Okay? And so when you join the challenge, you're going to get free access to WeShape. And inside WeShape, we do support calls, like live support calls. We also do our challenge calls, where literally like hundreds of people are going to jump on this challenge call. We're going to talk about these pillars more. We're also going to share in our struggles and our wins together, and that can feel really inspiring. And we also have a social media community built into WeShape, where if you're like waking up one day and you're like, man, I feel horrible, I feel unmotivated, and you go in there and post that, guess what? Our community is going to come rally around you right then and there. You've got this. You can do this. Because we all need some encouragement sometimes. We all need that support. We all need that community, that connection that can make us feel held and supported, right? And the biggest thing that we teach people of why community is so important is because what we're doing at WeShape is different. If you've been on our live calls, then you know this by now. It's much different than anything that you've probably seen out there. The fitness industry across the board is pretty simple. Most of the people are saying you should lose weight or you should gain muscle because your self-worth should be low unless you look a certain way, right? That's the way the fitness industry treats people. And we're the ones out there saying you shouldn't listen to this anymore. You're worthy just as you are. You can like yourself just as you are. And the more important thing you should be doing when it comes to your fitness routine isn't trying to change the way you look. It's showing up to care for yourself so you can change the way you feel. So you can have as much freedom of movement for as long as possible. Because when you have freedom of movement, you can enjoy your life for so much longer. And community, when you're making that shift away from this old mindset of using self-judgment and self-criticism and believing that your weight and the number on the scale is your worth. When you're trying to get rid of those beliefs and those thoughts, it's hard. You can feel lonely. But that's why we've built this community, to support each other, to carry each other through this, and to help you come out the other side as a person who no longer hates the way they look, as a person who realizes that fitness is about self-care, not facilitating self-judgment. And along the way, like I said, things will arise. We're all humans. Struggles will happen. And if you have that community, you can get through anything. So let's get through this year together. Let's make 2026 the year that you join a community that can show up for you, that can hold space for you, that can connect with you, that can cheer you on, that can keep you motivated when you really need it. And let's all do this together. Let's learn how to show up for ourselves, be consistent, And that way we can finish 2026 feeling better in our bodies, about our bodies, and also feeling so much healthier and happier. You've got this. I know you do. I know you do. And if you're doubting yourself, then the answer that you need is community. You need that support, and that's what we're here for. So, if you haven't yet, make sure you join our free Feel Good Challenge. I'll talk about this one more time real quick, and then we're going to answer some questions, okay? Make sure you join our free Feel Good Challenge. Starts on Monday. It's 100% free. You can go to WeShape.com/challenge, and you can sign up. Enrollment closes on Saturday, so I would do this right now, and we have a couple thousand spots left, and they are going to disappear, I promise you that. And it's going to be a 28-day customized workout plan. You're going to get live coaching calls. You're going to get through our 4-week transformation plan and a chance to win amazing prizes, including a free ticket to our upcoming WeShape Wellness Retreat later on in 2026. Starts Monday, so make sure you sign up today. There's going to be links all over our social media, so I'm sure you can find that. Now, if you have questions about the challenge, if you're struggling and you need that support right now, you want to make a mindset shift that you don't know about, post in the comments below. Let us know why you're struggling so that we can help you out. And if you're struggling with something physically too, like this hurts and how will this program help me? Post them in the comments. I want to answer some questions right now to see if I can help you out right now, whether that's just doing a movement or a stretch to feel better, or maybe just doing a little mindset shift that's going to help you consistently show up for yourself, all right? So post your questions in the comments right now. My team's going to put them right here. And before I jump into these comments, one last thing. We're going to go through our 4th pillar tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you've been enjoying these lives, mark your calendars, and I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And when you join the challenge, by the way, like I said, we're going to unpack all this, a whole lot more on live calls like this, but live calls where people can unmute and interact with each other as well. Okay, let's take a look at these questions, okay? First question, when is the challenge starting? Well, that's a great one. Starts Monday, January 12th. It is currently Thursday, January 8th. So make sure you sign up. Again, enrollment closes on Saturday. When you sign up, we can give you everything you need to get started, and then we're getting started on Monday. Okay, so make sure you do it now. Okay, Instagram had a question here. I had a back surgery and need to strengthen my core and legs, and I hate physical therapy. Okay, great question, and I understand people don't like going to physical therapy and all these different things. So I think the reason why people often don't like having to do things like physical therapy is, first of all, you have to drive to the place, you have to go there, you have to interact with people. Sometimes that's not always the thing that you want to do, especially when you have limited time available, okay? I think WeShape's workout program can help you immensely when it comes to strengthening your core and legs. But in the interest of just giving you some value here today, I want to show you probably the 2 movements I would practice the most if I had somebody who wanted stronger core and stronger legs, okay? So I'm going to turn to this main camera so we can do a couple movements together, all right? But the first movement is something I talk about a lot, and it's a movement that we want to maintain for as long as possible. We want to maintain it pain-free, but if you want stronger legs, I'll show you a couple different variations on how to do this, okay? It's the sit to stand. And I know it sounds crazy that coming up from a chair like this and just sitting back down isn't valuable, but it is. It really is. And it strengthens your legs so much more than almost anything else out there. So if you're thinking you have to do like cycling or cardio and running and walking and all this stuff, I would rather have someone do sit to stands every day consistently practicing them than anything else. Absolutely more than anything else, okay? So here's how to do it with good form, especially with someone who's coming off of surgery. You need to make sure that you're doing form first. I'm gonna show you the very first variation that actually might be in your customized program. By the way, with WeShape, the program that you get is customized to you. So we're gonna let 5,000 people in this challenge. Our software is gonna build 5,000 different workouts because every single one of you has a different body with different needs, okay? So you'll get some variation of the sit to stand probably in your routine, but the levels will be different. So I'll show you a couple different levels that we have in WeShape. If you're just starting out, maybe you can't even stand up from a chair right now, but we want to start building that leg strength, there's a move called the seated heel push. So what you're gonna do is come to the edge of a chair, you're gonna bring your feet slightly outside of hip width, and you're gonna turn your toes slightly outward. Make sure your knees are pointing the same direction as your toes. Don't let your knees cave in even as you do this heel push. Lift your toes towards your nose until you feel these little muscles right here firing. Then all we're gonna do is push our heels down into the ground, and you'll feel your legs start to fire, the muscles right there. And hold for a second or two, and then relax. Lift your toes to your nose, push down, hold for a second or two, and then relax. Same thing, repeat. Toes to the nose, hold for a second or two, and then relax, okay? So this simple movement right here is an isometric contraction of the legs that's gonna help you gain strength in a way that's really safe. If that's too easy, we can practice the actual sit to stand. So same thing with the foot width. Now this time what we want to do is we want to bow our hips forward before we stand up. And I want to use my arms for support. So placing my hands on my knees, I'm going to press into my heels, and I'm going to use my arms until I'm almost all the way to the top. And then I'm going to extend my hips to stand up just like this. And I'm going to reverse the motion. So I'm trying to think about the sit to stand not so much as my knees movement, but more of a hip movement. So coming from a side angle, pushing my butt back, keeping my knees pretty vertical, keeping my weight on my heels, my arms are on my knees like this. This is how we can start practicing the sit to stands, okay? So if your goal is to gain leg strength, you can practice either one of these variations of the sit to stand, or you can just remove your hands and just do an unsupported sit to stand. You can do this a couple different ways, okay? You can either create a workout routine where you do something like a minute of sit to stands and then rest for 30 seconds and do that 5 times, for example, and do that 3 days a week. Or you can also use it as a movement snack. So when you're sitting throughout the day and you go to stand up from a chair, pause. Make sure you're mindfully moving. Don't just stand up and hurt your body, right? Make sure you're mindfully moving. And maybe instead of just standing up from a chair once, maybe pause for a second and go, you know what? I'm going to do 2 more repetitions of this before I get up and do the thing that I was going to do. By accumulating this movement throughout the day, you will gain strength, you will gain coordination, and your body will feel better. And here's a cool, I love math, by the way. I'm a math nerd. And check this out. If you literally just did 3 sit to stands a day, very intentionally, at the end of this year, you will have done over 1,000 sit to stands. How much better do you think your lower body would feel after practicing 1,000 intentional sit to stands? And that, come on, that's 3 a day. 3, that's it. It's such a small amount, okay? So imagine what would happen if, 10 times throughout the day, you did 3 sit to stands, right? Now you're accumulating 10,000 sit to stands per year. A huge secret to maintaining strength and longevity is integrating movement into your life. I'm a huge fan of having a structured movement practice like we do offer at WeShape and that we give you through the challenge. But I'm such a huge fan of integrating little movements here and there in your life and accumulating those repetitions over the course of a year, because that is what's going to keep you feeling good in the long run, okay? So there's a lower body move for you. The second move I'm going to show you on the floor, but I want you to do this in bed, okay? Especially if you have back pain. This is a movement you can do in bed. This is going to be one to strengthen the core. It's probably the #1 core move I would give people, especially if you're having back pain. Pay attention to the form, okay? So what you're going to do is lie down on your back, again, in bed. You don't have to come all the way down to the ground, especially if you have back pain, okay? And what you're going to do first is push the lower back into the ground. You should not be able to even put your fingertips underneath your lower back. You're pushing it into the ground so hard, okay? Then, palms toward the sky, drop the shoulders down away from the ears like this, okay? Now you can either keep your head up tall, relax your head like this, or if that bothers you, put a pillow under your head, all right? Now from there, bring both knees up, and what you're gonna do is see if you can drop one heel down to the ground as you inhale, exhale as you bring the knee back up, and don't let the lower back lift off the ground. So we're gonna go inhale, inhale down, exhale up, back and forth like that, okay? If that gets too easy for you, you can squeeze the legs together and you can start to drop the heels down to the ground and back up. Again, keeping the lower back pushing the ground. What you might notice here is as you do a movement that's a little harder, your body's gonna wanna whoop, your back's gonna wanna lift up off the ground. That's a very, very good sign that you're doing something that's too hard for your current core strength levels, okay? So the moment you feel your lower back start to wanna lift off the ground, that means you should go back a step in levels and make sure you're doing form first, intensity second, okay? But just in case this is still too easy for you with the knees bent, all you can do is start to straighten the legs more. The more you straighten the legs on this movement, the harder it is. So once you have straight legs like this, still keeping the lower back on the ground, your core is gonna be plenty strong for most things. And just like the sit to stance, you can put this together into a simple routine. Do it for 1 minute, rest for a minute, repeat 3 times, right? So you could do sit to stands and leg raises, and that could be almost a complete routine that you could do 3 days a week in just 10 minutes. So that's an awesome way to do it. By the way, I just want to say it one more time though. One of the things that we do at WeShape, so we created this library of like 900 movements and stretches, all kinds of different levels like I'm showing you right here. When you sign up for our free challenge, WeShape.com/challenge, or through the links around here, we're gonna build you a customized routine. And you'll be able to come in and say, I want to do this for 10 minutes, or I want to do this for 20 minutes, and it'll build you a customized routine, okay? So if you see me doing multiple levels and giving you advice about movements, the best way to get the best movements and stretches for you put into a simple routine that you can do from home, join the challenge and get started, okay? I promise you it will change the way that you feel in your body. All right, let's go to another question here. This one's from TikTok. I'm tired of my 55-year-old broken body. My shoulder and feet hurt. What can I do? We did a live earlier this year, and I want to teach you something about this live right now because I think, again, when I talk about the fitness industry letting us down, it's not just that the focus of the fitness industry is intensity, right? It's like, how much cardio can you do? How much weight can you lift? How do you pump your muscles? All of that's built around changing the way you look, not changing the way you feel, right? And the fitness industry's really let us down in kind of two ways. One, they're focused on intensity instead of quality. So the number one thing is if your body's hurt, if your body feels broken, then guess what we gotta do? We gotta rebuild your body from the ground up. And for most people who are in your position, you know what that means? It means doing movements that are simple, really simple, kind of like the ones I just showed you, like doing the heel push or doing the leg raise where we're just unilaterally doing one leg at a time. Those are the type of movements we want to get really good at. When we start practicing functional movements with our body that feel easy enough to us, and then we have a roadmap where we can scale the difficulty of those movements up as we continue practicing them, it changes the way that we feel in our bodies. It changes the way that you feel in your body, okay? So don't focus on quantity, focus on quality of the movements. And really basic stuff is really powerful, okay? Push-ups, sit to stands, leg raises, simple stretches for the areas that you're tight and other movements for the areas that you're weak, okay? Keep it simple. And ideally, if you're hurting right now, I get it. I've had 5 knee surgeries. I've had to learn how to re-walk again 5 different times. I have pain every day because of the injuries that I've had. But I'm able to manage it. I'm able to gain strength, flexibility. I'm able to do things that most people can't do, even with those injuries, because I consistently show up, I practice the basics, and I focus on quality first. Quality first, okay? The second thing I want to talk about is what you should be focusing on throughout this year, okay? In the live we did in the beginning of January, I told you the ABCs, okay? ABCs. This is the secret to actually experiencing a difference in how your body feels. Take action. Nothing's going to change if we don't take action. You got to do something, okay? You got to do something. You got to start practicing movement consistently. Take action on the basics consistently. Remember that. So throughout 2026, when you start thinking to yourself, oh, I should go do a workout routine. No, forget about all that. There's no fancy magic pill. The thing that you got to be doing is taking action on the basics consistently. If all you did this year was practice sit to stands, leg raises, and maybe some sort of push-up variation, you get really far if you took action on those basics consistently, all right? So if you're tired of your 55-year-old broken body, your shoulders, your feet hurting, right? Do something about it. Take action on the basics consistently. If you join the challenge, we'll build you a customized routine, and I'm sure that it will help you feel better in your body, okay? Let's see what we got here. Okay, Facebook. I've had both hips replaced and a very tight Achilles. I need to strengthen hip flexors and release the Achilles. Okay, great. I love this. I'll actually give you some good movements here. So when it comes to the Achilles tendon and our calves, right? Calves can be really stubborn. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we stretch the calves every single day, okay? And I got to be honest with you, when you do stretch your calves every single day, oh, it feels so good. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite calf stretch variations. I'll show you a couple different variations real quick. I have a block right here. You don't necessarily need a block or a yoga block. You can use a book or something to elevate your toe on. But what we're going to do is this. We're going to put our toe, or actually I shouldn't say toe, the ball of our foot. So right here, the ball of our foot, not just the toes and not just the arch, the ball of the foot, right on the edge of like a stair, a step, a book, something like this, okay? Now I'm going to push down into this heel. If you need to, you can use the wall for support, you can use a chair for support, whatever it may be. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to tuck my pelvis, all right? I'm going to tuck my pelvis and squeeze my glutes. Then I'm going to step the other foot forward, and I'm going to start bringing my body in front of that heel. So I'm kind of moving my body forward like this. As I do that, I'm going to continuously push through that back heel. I'm going to push down like this, okay? And you'll start to feel a deep stretch in your calf. Now, calves can be stubborn. I recommend holding this stretch for 60 to 90 seconds. And every time you inhale, and every time you exhale, try to move a little bit deeper into the stretch, okay? So 60 to 90 seconds on each side. I would do this first thing in the morning, last thing before you go to bed, every single day. Try that for 2 weeks. Try that for just 2 weeks, and I'll bet you that your calves, your Achilles, and your ankles will feel a whole lot better, okay? Now, I know you have both hips replaced, and we want to strengthen the hip flexors too. So one of my favorite ways to work the core, create better pelvic stability, and strengthen the hip flexors is a movement called high chair marching, okay? So you would take a chair or a countertop or a nice sturdy surface, so maybe like a dresser or something in your house, would come into a plank position on that chair. So squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis, drop the shoulders down away from the ears, press the hands down into the chair, almost like you're trying to push them towards your thighs. Now your body's all active and tight, and you're strengthening your core and keeping it safe, okay? Now from there, I would want you to lift your knee as high as you can, hold for a second, and put it back down. Start slow like this at first, and then we can increase the pace as time goes on. But what you really want is how high can you lift that knee without rotating the body or maybe sacrificing the back position. Everything stays in this plank position as you go back and forth just like this, okay? And if you want to make that difficult over time, how you scale that is you turn the chair around and you do your plank marching now on the chair like this, okay? And then we can do it all the way down to the ground as well, okay? So there's a few ways to strengthen your hip flexors and strengthen your core. Both of those will really help support your pelvis staying centered, which oftentimes when we have hip replacements and stuff, people can start to have compensatory patterns in the way that they're moving, which can cause pain in your hips, your knees, your lower back, etc. So learning how to move your body well, when you move your body better, you feel better in your body, right? It's really good for you. Okay. And I just want to say one more Facebook comment. Somebody, it's more of like just a quick comment. They said, the adaptations are very much appreciated. And I think what they mean by adaptations is like the variations of each movement are appreciated. And I want to add something here because I think again, when people think about fitness, the majority of the people out there think to themselves like cardio. So my heart's beating fast and I'm pumping my muscles and burning calories and I'm breathing really heavy. Or they think about like bodybuilding, like hitting machines and like until the muscles fatigue, right? Until the muscles fatigue. And when we're talking about the best way to train your body for feeling better in your body, you want to start with basic movements, and then you want to gradually make those movements more challenging. Now, the people that train like this, there's two people in this world that train like this more than any others. One is physical therapy, right? Which is fantastic for getting you out of pain and making you feel better. And the second are gymnasts, which are the strongest, most flexible, most coordinated athletes in the world. And so what we did at WeShape is we said, hey, what would happen if we started with physical therapy and slowly people could scale up over time to movements that were more like gymnastic strength and athletic movements and functional movements, right? And that's what creates the difference, okay? Because if you want to have no pain in your body, and if you want to be able to go up and down a flight of stairs, no problem, if you want to be able to lift something up off the ground without hurting yourself and not have to think about it, well, the truth is, if all you did was get really good at moving your body by slowly scaling up the difficulty of these basic functional movements, well, guess what? All those things are going to go away and you're going to feel so much better, so much stronger, and so much more confident and capable in what your body can do again, okay? So, yes, not only are the adaptations and the variations something that we built to make sure that everyone feels like they have the right movement for their body, but it's important to know that the system that we've built gradually helps you gain strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination, which makes a huge impact on how your body feels, okay? All right. Okay, I'm gonna answer, let's see, one more question today, and then we're gonna wrap this one. And then remember, we're gonna do one more live call tomorrow, Friday, January 9th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? So the last question is, I'm stuck physically and emotionally. What can I do? This one came from TikTok. So physically and emotionally, what can I do? I get to talk to a lot of people at WeShape. who join our coaching calls, right? And they ask us questions about how they can get motivated. And I think we can all acknowledge that sometimes we can feel trapped in this like emotional struggle of like, I'm in pain, my body feels horrible, I feel like nothing's working for me. And I just want to say that you're not alone in that. You know, like I've had to recover from surgery on 5 different occasions, which takes months, which can lead you down a path of feeling depressed and feeling uninspired and unmotivated. And then when you come back and you do things and they don't feel comfortable at first, like it can be hard. And so I wanted to touch on this question because when you feel stuck physically and emotionally, probably the most important thing that you can do is make sure that you have a community around you to support you. And that was the theme of this call anyways, is that we want to connect you with the community that we've built here at WeShape, that when you do feel stuck emotionally, when you do feel stuck physically, when you're like, oh, why can't I take that first step? That we're there to say, hey, just go to your workouts and press play, do a breathing exercise, do a warm up, and then if you still feel like quitting, just turn off the routine that day, and we'll keep building that habit of success, right? Because a mentor of mine a long time ago told me this, and I think it's really valuable for people who feel like, I can't seem to take that first step, all right? Remember this. By the inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it is hard. And what most of us do when we're thinking about starting a fitness routine is we think about all the stuff we've got to do to facilitate that workout that day. Oh, I've got to go put my shoes on. I got to go to the gym. I got to go do an hour of this. I got to drive back. I got to take a shower, blah, blah, blah. And all of that thought around making this task into this giant thing makes it so that we don't want to even get started. Right? Some people call that a paralysis analysis. We were thinking too much, so then we end up doing nothing. And so if you join our challenge, which again is free, WeShape.com/challenge, you can use the workouts that we create for you. And these workouts you can do from home, okay? So you don't have to drive anywhere or do anything. And the best part is Coach, which is what we've built that is kind of like your coach throughout this whole thing. You click Start Moving with Coach, and it asks, how did you sleep last night? How does your body feel, and how much time do you have? And we give you the opportunity to do 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, okay? So if time is an excuse, if not having any equipment is an excuse, if not being able to have a gym membership is an excuse, if not knowing what to do is an excuse, we've solved all that. All you got to do is take action on the basics consistently by showing up for yourself. And I honestly think, if anybody's not feeling inspired right now and they want to feel inspired and they want to have that community around them to support them, the best thing you can do is go to that WeShape.com/challenge. Click the links around us, sign up. It's 100% free, and you'll get access to these WeShape customized workouts, plus our live calls, plus our challenge curriculum, plus a chance to win prizes, including a trip to our WeShape Wellness Retreat to meet me and the team as well. This is the best move for you, all right? So I really hope that you take this lesson seriously. If you don't feel supported, if you feel like you can't find a way to be motivated, if you feel stuck, if you feel drained, if you feel like you're having trouble taking that first step, the first step right now is to join our free challenge and then start showing up for yourself, because we're going to teach you how to take action on the basics consistently, okay? So go to WeShape.com/challenge, click the link in our bio, and what, TikTok, click the link in bio? Okay, if you're on TikTok, click the link in bio, or you can click the link in the descriptions on the other lives as well. Otherwise, maybe I'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to talk about one more pillar and give you one last chance to sign up for the WeShape Challenge. Otherwise, I hope I gave you at least some information that was helpful or inspirational to start taking action on taking care of your body, because you matter, okay? Remember that. You are worth it. So do something about it, okay? All right. Hopefully see you tomorrow.